Boker Tov, which means good morning. Of course, for you it might be Laila Tov, which is good afternoon, or Erev Tov, which is good evening. How about just Yom Tov, good day? So today starts a period before what the world calls and the Jewish people call Rosh Hashanah, which in scripture is called Yom Torah, Feast of Trumpets. Feast of Trumpets, or Rosh Hashanah, is about a month from now. And then 10 days after that is Yom Kippur, Day of Atonement. These are high holy days. These are days that are very significant to anyone who believes in Scripture. All of Scripture, from Genesis to Revelation, it has significant meaning for us. It goes within times. That's what we're waiting for. The spring festivals found in Leviticus 23 have already had their Messiah revelation. The fall festivals are what we're waiting on. At any rate, Rosh Hashanah, or Yom Torah, Feast of Trumpets, is in about a month. But 30 days prior to that, starting with the month of Elul, which starts in a couple days, is a time of Teshuvah. And Teshuvah means turning, or more directly, returning. This year, I'm impressed to do little daily, encouragement, edification, whatever we want to call it. Small little short snippets every day. And this year I'm going to focus on turning our hearts and minds towards truth, turning our hearts and minds towards Scripture, towards going higher by digging deeper, getting to the root of the matter, learning how to abide, truly abide. And so that's what I hope to do for the next month and a half with you, 40 days or so before Yom Kippur, Day of Atonement. He's coming for a singular bride whose heart needs to be aligned with Abba the Father. And so in order to do that, we need to not be conformed to this world. But we also need to understand, I think, the most significant thing that he's putting on me right now for where we're headed and where all of these little chats are going to take us is he's prepared my hands for war. That's not something we've been taught. We've been taught God is love and God is peace. And yes, he is. But at the same time that he's grace and mercy, he's also a God of vengeance and retribution. And vengeance is his, not ours. So he can be mercy and justice at the exact same time. He's not one or the other. He is all things all the time. And so there's quite a few of us that believe, we're out of here before the time of trouble. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to tell you where I stand on that right now. What I am going to tell you is throughout all of Scripture and throughout all of history, it talks about times of trouble. It talks about tribulation. It talks about opposition. It talks about standing strong and overcoming. And yet, we're not trained how to be warriors. We're not trained, as David said. David was a man after God's own heart. Why? Because he worshiped. And yet, he stated that God had trained his hands for war. Think about that. The greatest worshiper, the man whose heart is after God, is a warrior. So, come along with me for the next several days, about 40-ish, and let's dig deep and train our hands for war, spiritual war, so that we can be warriors. And just a hint, in case you didn't know, a warrior is a worshiper. Okay, see you tomorrow. Have a great day.